let's throw the manure spreader on this and see if it works.
You are now watching the 2023 season of Farming with Duffy Ag.
Well, Inco's not having such a good go of it. We welcome you back to the channel. He's having a rough go. I got his foot taped up, or wrapped up. We cleaned it, we wrapped it up. He did rip it back open pretty good, so that nail issue that he had previously, jumping in and out of trucks, he was in a good place, and he just caught it just right yesterday. Didn't bother him at all. He just sits there and licks it. Now he's more embarrassed that he's got that on there. It's okay, buddy. They're not laughing at you. You don't have to be ashamed. Keep that on there though. We're gonna have to get some tape. So he's gonna lay low for a little bit here. They just felt raindrops. Wild world we live in. But alrighty, so the next few days is going to be beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous is what we need for the corn. He's going to go lay down. That's best for absolutely gorgeous. What we need for the corn. A bunch of people have dropped hay to make dry hay. We got no silage trucking till maybe the end of the week, where we might go see a buddy and truck up at their place. And in the meantime, we got to spread some pack manure for ourselves. How's everybody today? Everybody's good? And we got to do some things with them. Ideally, I think we're going to fence in some of the pasture up there and see if they'll start grazing that down some more. They've done a very, very good job. Let me show you up this window of cleaning right out in here. So I guess I'll start with that. And that will be, then we'll hook the manure spreader up, load all that stuff, see how it's spreading, and have a good day. So yesterday was a long day. By the time we got all said and done, like 14 hours of trucking. So probably just about 12 hours of actual chopping, 14 hours of trucking by the time you mess around with everything. But very good day, like very, very. So let me throw some standards in, actually, because everybody enjoys it. What we got to do first is shut the electric fence off. I know there's a bunch of people that love that clip. It hurt, but it's reality that I shocked myself, and let's not do that again. So there we go. Now it's off. So you can compare. This is what the outside used to look like. Those calves have gone around the edge and just cleaned up all of that. That is why I did put 2-wire. Those are all 4 hots, bottoms ground. So I ran just down here in the little area. I'd rather not have them way out and have to chase them around or do something like that. Granted, things are much more relaxed now. So they got this area that they can mess around and clean that up. I'm gonna need more animals. That's really what it comes down to. They cleaned all this, which looks really good. End goal, if this works out, by the time I'm done messing around in the back, we'll let them out in the back, and they can run around, do whatever they want and clean that up. Because at the end of the day, if we really wanted to, we could probably mow and chop this for third cutting. Granted, there's a bunch of weeds, we got to top them off, and we got to get our pasture management good, but we weren't focused on that at all for the last little bit because, well, we didn't have any animals. Looking ahead, so things have slowed down as far as any of the crop side. There's really nothing for corn, nothing for grass, other than what we're gonna go spread some manure. Utilize that side slinger to get rid of that pile there. And they can, well, I guess we'll see how much they actually eat up there. So. Yeah, things are content. How's everybody doing? There is green grass out. Michael? What are we doing in the corner? We gotta put a gate up there. So this was like a calf pen, headlocks for calves, which at some point that will be pretty useful. We just gotta get them to eat out of the other side. How are you doing, Norman? Things good? What are you doing in the corner? How you doing? You're Michael. Oh, everybody's freaked out. Go check out the green grass. Well, they're out there. So they got like a what is that, 40 by 40 little grazed in area that they can mess around with. We'll see how that works out. That is majestic. Good use of them. Good use of the ground. Good use of them. Hopefully they respect that fence. They should. Norman, I think he's learned enough to hang out with them, not test his luck. Now that he's got friends. But, alrighty, so we got the 2755 ready to load some pack manure pretty much. We got to throw the 4640 on. Granted, there's a lock sitting on the front of it. So, as we all know, we got our HISEA boots, great partner of the channel. And these get a little hot in the summer when you don't really need them. So, they're awesome barn boots. They're not very insulated thick. They do stay warm, but they get warm enough that my feet sweat. So HISEA hit me up and said, hey, how you doing? What do you want to do? And I said, what do you got for shorter barn boots? So we're gonna rock these bad boys and see how we like them. These are pretty slick. So I've always had like taller boots, but working in the summer, dragging around big heavy boots, which these aren't heavy, but they're bigger. They could be better. Let's see if we can do this without stabbing her. I think it pulls through itself. But this will be, I'm trying to think how many boots I got from HISEA. This might be number 10, and they got a lifetime warranty. The biggest thing, as we knew this spring when we were battling some wet situations, they came in very handy. I got some shorter muck boots, but not this short. So pretty excited to switch out of that because my feet are already sweating a little bit, and switch right into these. Oh, they wrap around tight. Let's give them a go. Well, we'll wait for a day where we need some taller boots again. We'll rock these and get going. I did just realize that Yanko ripped the toenail on a different foot. It's not the same nail. I thought he re-ripped it open. Oh, tough guy. Alrighty, let's go. He's probably gonna want to get in this because the AC will be on. Yep, here he comes. Let me help you up. Let me get it started. Dude, just let me help you up in a minute. Lights are on. And as always, with the HISEA products, because they're a great partner of the channel, 15% off at Duffy 15. The link's down below. These are going to come in real slick. We're going to have to get you some with the rate you're ripping your toenails. Maybe get some little dog ones for you. Well, alrighty, let's throw the manure spreader on this and see if it works. That's probably the biggest thing. Still do have to get that junk back out of there. I just gotta get some fuel down to it. Gonna have to jack it up, aren't we? Yep. We gotta mix up a batch of a little weed killer and get some of these killed off. Yeah, we should do that later. Okay. We never got a new shaft section. That's on the list, but we're not gonna spread enough to make it to really be worried about it coming apart or ruining anything. We do have to move this stuff, then we could back it all the way in. That bale should actually leave. How's our hay looking? Barn's not on fire, so that's good. That's always the worry about putting, this wasn't wet hay, but people that put wet hay up, our mini bale's still here. It's actually for one of the waitresses in town that I think we're going tonight because they got a tractor thing. We'll see how many people do it. Maybe I'll show you guys. She was like, anybody know anybody with second cut bales? So Isaiah made a mini bale for her for rabbits. But these were the bales that got rained on. Well, not the bales, the hay and then tedded. So 4 of those bales, and you can see the difference. God, I wish they all looked at like that. I don't know, can you see on that? Like, this is beautiful. Not heated up at all. God, I wish I had 100 bales like that. That would have made my life pretty good. What did it just do there? There we go. Now you can see the difference big time. So, they got a sale coming up. I got some cool new products from them. At some point, I'll show you guys. But these are technically bedding bales, as I've said, and people keep saying, oh, they're great for beef, great for beef. They could be great for beef, but you can't market feed quality or less than feed quality as feed quality, because then when people show up and they say, oh, these aren't feed quality. Well, they could be feed quality, but they're not currently. To me, to the market, if that makes sense. Jack put away. Throw the hydraulics on. Well, that didn't work out. We're over here. I was about to jump in the 27 and start loading that, and I was like, let me just walk by here. Yeah, we've looked at everything. That's growing great. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy smokes, we got one in there. We got another one in there and another one. So things are growing. That one needs to be cut, taken off. Somebody was right. Well, of course, they made a comment and said that should be growing in a much bigger area. I agree. I did not plant this, remember that. But I gotta cut that off. Is there any more? There's another one over there. Holy smokes. Little one right there. Let me get them off. Let me get in there with that. That's not exactly the right color, but I figured if I let it grow too long, it's gonna be huge. Not really sure why that's a different color, because then we go over to this one. What do we got? We got a baby one there. We got a few baby ones coming along of zucchini. There's another cuke in here. I'll get it out right there. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I like it. So some more harvest of it. We got the radishes that we've been eating. Lettuce is coming along. Green beans, they're coming. They're building. Peas are up. So corn's coming. So we're gonna have to sort through this pile a little bit because there is some rocks and pieces of the old silo and stuff sitting there. And if we put that into the manure spreader, no bueno. I left Janko in there so he could chill out, sit in the AC, have a good time. He's sitting on the floor. I don't know why. Must be more comfortable. So let's see if we can get a few that don't really have any rocks in it or anything like that. Keep in mind, we're not going to load this full because we want to make sure everything works properly. Somebody did ask why I don't run in one in reverse, because one or like even four is pretty slow pace. Make sure nothing big falls out. The other good thing about big square bales, even for bedding, so that baler has a processor on it, knives on it, that cuts it into little pieces. Yeah, you can get them for round bales, but it seems like the big bales just do a better job, so it breaks it up a lot better. Do we put one more bucket in and then run it? Or am I testing my luck? Ah, we love testing our luck, right? Once we get this good and figured out, then we can work on getting that corn silo emptied out. Well, not emptied, but ready to go. And we can load it right into any rock and go right into the manure spreader. So. Okay. Let's go give that a go. See how that is. Is he asleep? No, he's awake. How's the AC, bud? I gotta get in. You wanna jump up on your seat? No, 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 no. Turn around and go up on the seat. There you go. Over here. Hey. I know, you're sore. But that's way more comfortable, ain't it? I could put you in the house, but then you'd lose your mind on me, right? You'd be mad. It is an odd sight not seeing it heaped all the way over, because that's usually how these spreaders get run. Fill them full and send it. Gets much done. We'll go up on top of the hill and see if we can fertilize some of that area that's less productive. Third is already starting to grow back pretty good, greening up. Got the moisture, just needs the sun, and well, we're getting the sun. So honestly, it's like a gorgeous day today. High 70s, nothing too hot. Could use some more heat. Farming. This is what I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, you put one of them through there, that's not so good. Same with the rocks. So we'll make a pile over there. Those, okay, let's see. That's a 16 foot. They're both 60 footers, I think he said. They're 60 footers. That's a 16. That's a 20. At one point, somebody did ask and said, they said, you're on the Burr farm. It would be great to know more of the history of it. Have John sit down and talk. I think that's a good idea. I really do. I'll see if John wants to do that. There's a bunch of people that watch that know John. His granddaughter or something like that now. Somebody who went to school with me is related to him somehow. Lives in Connecticut. If you know who I'm talking about, write in the comments. I think that would be a great idea because he does have a ton of knowledge. And he's seen a lot. But there was a 12 or a 14 foot that had these. That's what these are from. And they tore it down. I'm trying to think which one it was. Somebody did send me pictures when I first moved in, aerials from like the 90s, from airplanes. Alrighty, let me pull what I can out of here. So all of this pile can get spread. Probably like, we're not going to heap it because if we do have an issue, then we're digging it out. First load went very well. They make noise because the feeders come around, they hit stuff. So you always got to be nervous on what it's making noise from, but I'm sure there's going to be more in there. It don't help with these little rocks. Plus we don't want rocks because, yeah, when they go through a chopper, they're not so good. I was wondering what I was driving over. A rock. Okay. That was great when the cows did graze in here. You could see everything. Like there's a pile of rocks there. Here's another one. So that's why we got to be careful. They got taken apart, dropped. There's a pile of them on the edge of this. And what those are, for people who don't know, here's what they look like full size. Well, somewhat. Each block is one, and they're put together, and then the bands are put around it, and up, and away it goes. So this has corn. I just found my other GoPro drone battery. That's junk. I was wondering where it was. Maybe I can clean that up. That's been out there since we filled the silo because I put it down and switched batteries. Dang. I got 4 and I could only find 3 for the long. Now I know. Yeah, we gotta watch out for some rocks. That would hurt in the manure spreader. We would be digging it out. There goes the 10 tractor, the MX220. They're out making dry hay. Must be headed back down to head some down there. I don't know if they mowed more or what they did. Even at low RPMs, this thing, that is spinning. This thing spreads dry very, very well. Yeah, you could put people do put liquid in the side slingers. You just gotta have a door that seals a door that seals completely. Otherwise it drips all out, it makes a whole mess. Plus there's no top. You can get tops that go on, not this model, but other models. But yeah, that spread very good. We'll go get loaded with the last load, and this is working out. As of right now, we gotta get that shaft fixed, but otherwise I think if we run it the way we are, we'll be in a good place. I'm sure you guys did see some rocks come out of it. Those are just hard on the hammers that come around and throw everything. So hammers are good on this though, so hopefully we're in a good spot there, but less than ideal putting rocks back out. We just got to be more careful when we're pushing stuff around. So we've spread right here already. I'm going down to where I ran out, and it spread just a little bit. That's really why I wanted a side slinger, because it spreads solid so good. The new ones, like the tube liners and all of them spreaders, the vertical ones, yeah, that's a dream someday. But that's kind of a dream. I don't think I'd ever, I don't know. I bounced around the idea of it for some future, because you could haul silage with it. Much like some of my previous farms I worked with, they would run silage with them, and then they'd spread with them. But at this moment, side slinger's working good. So I'll pull up here. See, this is all spread and you can barely tell. So it's just done a good little light dusting on it, and we'll finish it up. If I had known exactly how much grass I was gonna have, I probably would have put a little more into corn. I probably would have put the top of the hill into corn, because you can see a distinct line. Let me pull up here, between right here and right here. I believe this was at corn at one point, or this was a seeding that they put in after, but all the way down through the field it is greener over here than it is here, and that's why it did not yield. And I bet if we went over the hill it would be the same way. That's probably a newer grass right down through than this side, and that's why this is growing better. So originally I was going to spread up here and make it grow better, but I might as well put it on the crop that is going to be better. But right down through. So they farmed this as like a horseshoe at one point, in different crops, and we got to get into some of that. But ideally, if we're cover cropping and We got to get a little no-till action going on once the ground's good, to the point where no-till will work. This spring, it would not have been a good idea to no-till any of this because of the soil condition. Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. We come over here, and right here where it lips over, greener, and then not. So that is the reasoning. So I should have plowed a little more up the hill and probably put this in and left this strip around grass. Because yeah, selling bales is good and all, and it gives us some diversity and some income in between, and having the grass supply. But at the end of the day, as somebody did say, well, you're crop farming. I am crop farming. Granted, grass is a crop, but, or hay is a crop. But at the end of it, yeah, win some, lose some, learning what we're doing. But it would have been neat having it corn up on the top and then a strip and a strip. And you can see yellow right there and yellow there. That is where I believe there's a tile line that's messed up there. That's why water this spring was running over it, so that makes sense why it's yellow. But there's no point in going into that field just to do a 1/10 of an acre, not even. Everything else is looking really good, really good. I'm excited. I'm very excited, actually. So we'll go and hitch the manure spreader. What we got to do on this is actually check the wheels and make sure everything's still tight on those wedges now that we've driven around spreading multiple loads, to make sure it's all tightened up still. That's good practice before your wedges fall off or everything moves. Can't see much in there. Worked good. Yeah, got a little bit in there, but because it's undercover, I'm not too worried. Yeah, and those augers that are actually in there, they're worn. But for what we're gonna do with it, as y'all saw, that was pretty good life for it. Not too much abuse. Alrighty, take the hydraulic lines off. I will be excited when we can put this on, what it's going on. We saw it run when we picked it up, so I'm not worried about that. I'm excited to see it all done up. Yeah, I think it's gonna look good on the machine it's going on. So yeah, that should be in the works sooner than later. The gentleman that is gonna haul it home for me, he's got time. Yeah, there's little cracks like this in this, but the poly looks so much better than the metal to me. At the end of the day, this is a clean head. This is gonna last me for what I'm gonna do for a long time. And the trailer was a hell of a deal. But the gentleman who's gonna haul it, he's finishing up what he's got to do, spraying and stuff like that, and then he's gonna haul it for me. Could organize that up a little bit more. We'd be a little tighter. We got to get those pallets out of the back. Probably save whatever's good so that we can do what we did with the hay, put it on. But after that, yeah, if we make 40 bales of hay for ourselves a year and sell the rest right out of the field, we'll be pretty good. But I don't think I want to be in the big hay business. As we all know, it's kind of a struggle. Everybody I know who has been trying to make dry hay has not had a good time this year. How are you doing? You okay in the AC? Big sockets out. Thank you, Keith. And we'll just run around that tractor, make sure everything's tight. A lot of people are really worked up that my pickup is sitting here. Honestly, at the end of the day, yeah, I'd love to have it back running and everything else like that. And I'll probably tinker on it tomorrow, get the transmission out and see if it's the torque converter or the flex plate. Either way, it's going to be, well, flex plate's like 400, torque converter is 1800. So for the same one that's in it, I'm kind of leaning it's not the torque converter, because the torque converter's only got 60,000, 70,000 miles on it. But it has been a hard 70,000 miles, so maybe it is. I don't know. We are gonna find out at some point here. I'm not so sure why everybody is worked up that it's sitting in the shop. If it's sitting in the shop, then it means I'm not driving around doing aimless stuff. So at the end of the day, our rundown for August, we're going to Half Century of Progress out in Rantoul. Me and Andy, Chase Goldinger, Chase Goldinger from Goldinger Farms. We're staying out with him. So that should be 3 good days. I'm pretty sure Jimmy's out there and he has a tractor that I can run out there. So you guys will... I've never been, and I've heard stories that it might be nearing the end of it because of people buying the property or surrounding property, stuff like that. So I figure we should probably make it there. And that's every other year. Last year we went to Renner Stock, and the Renner family was amazing. Met unbelievable amount of people and opened up the opportunity to see a lot of cool things, such as Terry with his roam. So Terry, I hope your roam is going to Rantoul, because that was probably one of the coolest things. And Jason from Big Tractor Power and all of them guys. But alrighty, we got the socket sets here. Yanko is really upset that his foot is taped, but he's got to chill out. So we got socket sets here. I have yet to even touch them. Let me grab that. We got a lot of random stuff floating around in here. Yes, the M is still here. We talked about it the other night. It's still here. It's hanging out. Maybe we'll plant corn with it next year. I don't know. I'll be honest. This is the first 1-inch stuff that I've ever had for myself. So I appreciate it, Keith. I also, Keith, so we came home last night and boys from Puck, the manure equipment company, Puck, out in Iowa, they sent me some merch. Update on the merch. I'm waiting on the guy. My hats got sent to the wrong place. I think I've already said that in videos. I know not everybody watches to the end. Hats got sent to my old address, so Kevin's bringing me those. I think it's hats. I don't know if it's some of the shirts. And the guy's like, oh, we're still working on it. We got it delayed. I know. Merch people. It is what it is. I apologize for the wait. Hopefully the Yanko stickers make up for it. There will be extra merch once it comes in. That is part of the reason why the order is so big. So there was a ton of orders. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. It's out of my hands at that point. I'm sorry. I know people have emailed me. I gotta email some people back. If I sat on my phone all day, yeah, we'd be further along. What was I doing? 1 5/8. Not much movement, which is good. Means not much moved around. Ah, that's gonna be down there. Alrighty, well. Oh, nothing there. That's a good sign. You guys can't see nothing but my legs and my butt. Oh, okay. Those wedges are tight. And yeah, there's backside. There's 3 bolts on the backside, but if that side's tight, then we're good. I'll go to the other side and, yeah. Oh, here comes Dan back by. So they're trying to make dry hay up at Aaron's place there, and Isaiah's out. I don't know if it's a 4 or 6 star Kloss tedder on a Kubota tractor right now. But I see Dan France is headed back north now. So an 8 star gets the job done a little bit quicker. Last night when we got done trucking, Aaron was still out mowing. So they had, like, this weather is ideal. I could have waited for this weather, but then at the same point, well, who knows when this weather was actually going to come. So I'm glad I got it off. It worked out. And at the same point, that means they're able to utilize all of the equipment. I think both mowers are up there. 1 set of rakes. Maybe both will be up there at some point. And clearly the tedder's headed back up there. So Dan must have done some of his own grass or something, and He tedded it out. It's going north again. Well, this side was actually a little looser than it should have been. So that wasn't good. Glad we checked it. Let me go get the white truck. Oh, put some fuel in it, see if we can get it out of there. Yeah, I knew it was low when HISEA took it up for bales. So I'm glad I made it home that night. But I was sitting here and I was like, alrighty, I'll pull down, I'll turn around, I'll come up. We'll go get some fuel. Yeah, we didn't do that. Will it start? There's no primer on these. Come on, baby. I want to burn the starter up. Ideally, don't run it out. Well, a little bit of summer air, she started right up. So we'll get her aired up, get her out of the field. I do read every comment, and one came up that I figured I should like talk about. Somebody said, why do you have the 4640 when you've only put 2 tanks of fuel in it all year? Like, that thing's not making you money. Okay, when you're crop farming, the less you have to run something, the less fuel you have to put in it, less times you got to turn the key on, less maintenance you have to do for it, and still grow the same crop, you're ahead at the end of the day. If I was turning this thing on every morning, driving around doing aimless stuff with it, well, we did spread manure with it today, but like, the point of having that is to put as little hours on it and get the job done. Since at the end of the day, like, currently tractor prices based on lower hours is pretty ridiculous. So we got 62.32 on it. I think we put 40 hours on it this spring, and it is getting saddle tanks. It is going to get duals for planting for next year. It might have to get duals if we run a buggy with it. We got to see what we come up with for a buggy. We got some options, but 4640 as few hours. Loader tractor, that's going to take some hours. 7520 hasn't been started since we got done with it. So honestly, at the end of the day, but that's how they're supposed to be. Get your job done, park them away, and move on to the next things. So somebody said you should sell that, buy a rotary mower, buy a sprayer, buy this, buy that. If I bought a sprayer, it'd be parked away right now too. Rotary mower, yeah, I could see that, but sprayer, that would be parked away. That's kind of the row crop life, and I think this is going to set me up for a lot of options in the future because of how good it is. So 2755 has literally held its own the whole time. There's a lot of people that were negative about it. I'm not saying the haters and whatnot, I'm just saying people were negative about them. And yes, some of those German tractors didn't have the best rep, but at the end of the day, we moved bales, we've loaded manure spreaders, we moved the bulk tank out. Like, this thing has earned its keep through and through. And then we still got the M, and the M, yeah, the M's not ours, so it is what it is. If Jimmy leaves it here till next spring, maybe we'll run it on something. I don't think, well, we could run it on a mower, but 7520, she's tucked away. So we did pull the axles in and everything else. Those might be worth something to somebody on the channel. I'm not saying they're for sale for any of you guys. I'm just saying that is why they're inside, and those are worth a pretty penny each. So that is why they are inside too. We got to move them around. But alrighty, we're done for the day. We're gonna probably go get dinner. They got something in town that I jokingly did last week, and now it's a thing. So I got to see. I'm waiting on HISEA so we can go grab some food. Yanko is really emotional about his foot. He doesn't want to talk about it. You okay? Are you mad that I bandaged you up? At one time I had these little sock foot socks for him when he would do something, because he did rip a front nail once. But he hated them. So you've been good. I'll take that off later. That way I know you're not licking it, because that's the issue. Got eye boogies. Okay. Okay, so last week I did drive this down here for dinner because, well, we only got so many options. And I was like, screw it. I'm taking it. And so now it's a thing down here at Fancy Farmer, which is Jimmy's wife's place in Sharon Springs here. And, well, she said Tuesdays was drive your tractor and you get a free drink. So here we are. There's a few tractors. Relics 9410R is sitting here. I'm gonna pull up next to him. Isaiah took the merger, so we're gonna park right next to him and call it good. But yeah, it's good to see it in a small town that like people come together and there's cool stuff. So there's a few other tractors. This is a Mahindra. We're just gonna park right next to it. Should have taken the 7520 buck. We'll line right up. It makes it fun for the community. So that cattle pot looks awfully familiar, and I don't know why. But, alrighty, we're going in for dinner. Appreciate you guys watching. See you guys on the next one.